Hello, I'm Toycat, and welcome back to another video. Today I have something you probably wouldn't expect to see from my channel as far as Minecraft content goes, but today I'm going to be giving you a build tutorial / a house build tutorial for a polar bear in Minecraft. And this is a very bizarre idea, but it basically came from the idea that I wanted to build a giant polar bear just for some fun background gameplay, and I realized that there wasn't a single one in existence. I googled it, I found nothing, and I thought, you know what, we're going to do a service to the world, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a polar bear build / house build tutorial. So I'll be showing you how to build a polar bear, and then I'll be turning it into a house and showing you how to renovate it that way. So yeah, hopefully you do enjoy this video. If you do, like it and let me know because it helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do like the polar bears, especially when they're giant like it's going to be today. But yeah, with that said, let's get straight into the video, really, shall we? And let's show you how to build this. So the first thing you want to do before you do any of this, whether it's survival or creative, is get yourself your blocks. So this is going to be the block of quartz, the block of coal, and the grey stained clay. It's only 3 blocks the entire thing because if you look at a polar bear, it is actually a pretty plain animal. It is mostly the same kind of white or off-white color, and it means that, you know, just 3 blocks will do the entire thing, and it's actually kind of cool in that way. If you are going to be doing this in survival, you're going to need stacks and stacks and stacks of quartz. Just bear that in mind as we go into our first placing of the blocks, which is going to be a 4x4x8 tower. So the 4x4x8 tower is mostly going to be made of quartz, except for the front where you're going to want to go for block of coal, grey stained clay, block of coal, and a grey stained clay. This is going to be the paw of the polar bear, and as you see as we go up here, it does kind of look like the paw in that way, and it's the, you know, at least it's the way the game does its paws, and it means by just going all the way up to 8 blocks, like we're about to do here, we can now make ourselves the first leg. So yeah, 8x4 is a really simple design, but it is going to give you your first polar bear leg. So just keep in mind that this is like a 16 times scaled polar bear, so you know, if you're expecting like a normal sized one or one that, you know, would fit in like a corner of your world, that's not really how this is going to go. If it is 16 times bigger than a normal polar bear, you've got to kind of make accommodations for that. So yeah, that's our first leg done right here, and the second leg is going to go right next to it. So to do the second leg, you're just going to go 3 blocks across. By the way, this entire thing will be live just to show you how easy it can be done in a reasonable amount of time. You just want to go 3 blocks across and then start the same kind of paw thing again. So that, this, that, and then do the exact same 8x4x4 thing, and then you'll end up with the second leg. So the front legs are the easy legs for a polar bear. They're the same as most mob legs, where it's just like, oh yeah, this is 4x4 wide and it goes up 8 tall. Again, most of the mobs kind of share this same characteristic. If you look at a cow, if you look at a sheep, if you look at a pig, you know, a life-size one in one, you're going to find this exact same thing holds true, and it's just something you really need to keep in mind. So yeah, with that said, we're going to finish up this second leg here, and you might see the panda come, you might see the polar bear coming into existence now. If you don't, then you know, that's truth be told, I'm not seeing it either. But yeah, we've got 2 floating legs, and you can kind of imagine the polar bear around it. At least I can. If you can't, then the next step is going to be the body, and this is one where it really starts to come together because this is going to be an 11x11 cube. So that sounds really tricky, but yeah, basically you just have to go across here, which is 11 blocks, then also go 11 blocks backwards, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then also go 10 more blocks up. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And just like that, we've got all 3 axes of a, you know, 11x11 cube, and we just have to kind of connect it across all the different ways. There is, I believe, 12 of these little lines we have to do, which sounds like a lot, but in reality, you do each one in a few seconds, and you end up with an entirely complete body at first. So yeah, this is just my wireframe for now. You will need to fill this in later, but as long as you have the basic design here, you can kind of see what will be filled in later. You can kind of get the basic idea of what's going on. So just 3 more lines here, this one up here, and then this one connecting to it. And then finally, the very last line, connecting that one to this one, assuming that all did correctly work, and boom, now we've got the body. It's not filled in like it probably would be otherwise, but you can kind of get the idea. You can see there is a polar bear starting to form, there's some more fat going at the back, and there's a head going at the front. We'll work on the, we'll work on the front first, because it's a little bit more exciting. I'm sure everyone loves their polar bear heads a bit more than they love their polar bear butts. If that's not true, then I don't know, maybe look into getting that checked. But in all seriousness, yeah, what you want to do is you want to, have this kind of thing going 1 more block in, and then this is going to be the size of the head, but protruding out. So you want to go out 1 block like so, and then you just want to go around like this, and this is going to be your polar bear head. So as you can see, it is mostly surrounded by the rest of the body, like so. So it's going to look something like this, and as you know, even though that is a little bit bizarre, it is kind of just how the polar bear does work. He has this big hulk of body because there's so much fur, and then this is where the head is coming out from. So yeah, this wants to go 6 blocks out, I believe, no, sorry, this wants to go 5 blocks out, so 2, 3, 4, 5, and then, you know, it's like so, because some of the head is, of course, stuck into the body and isn't protruding in that way. So just like this, we've got ourselves our polar bear, like head, and then there's going to be a little bit protruding out from that, which will be the polar bear's mouth, because as you've probably seen, if you looked at a polar bear, you can see it does have something that does come out for a few other blocks after that, and it's going to be 3 blocks wider than this. So yeah, after that, we now go for the, oh jeez, that's a weird noise. After that, we're now going to go for the kind of face thing, after we connect this off, of course. For the record, this is going to be the face up here, but we'll get to this later. We need to have the kind of muzzly thing in front of the face. So this is something most skins have. My Ocelot has it, the thing has it, and it's just basically a way of having a mouth which actually kind of does look realistic. And you want to go 3 more blocks out of this, so this is the second, and then this is the third one here. We'll be just, doing it for now to show you what it will be, because it also goes 3 blocks up, and then it kind of connects in back there. This is kind of the front of the polar bear for now. You don't want to do this like this, but if you're doing it in survival, but if you are doing it in creative, then you'll have something like this, and then this will be the detail for the face. So again, pretty simple stuff. I think we've now ended up with a polar bear, which is starting to get there. I mean, it's a little bit creepy that instead of a face, it just has that, but you can kind of see what's going on. I'm going to fill it in just so we can, kind of see what we're working on with, and then replace certain stuff with the details. So for instance, you want to first of all have some eyes here. The eyes are going to be a little bit weird, but one goes there and one goes there, and then you also want to have some eyebrows above that using grey stained clay. It looks a little bit concerned, but that is how the polar bears work. They always kind of have this concerned look on their face, and that's something we do have going on right here. Oh, we want to go one more block further down with this. So just, that was a little bit of a mistake. Go down like this, do the exact same thing again. Has to be just above where the actual muzzle comes in. So just like so. We now have the exact same polar bear expression, but it looks a little bit more realistic. Like, if you have eyes too high up in the face, it does make things look a little bit weird. And now we also want to do the actual kind of front of this, the mouth, if you will, because polar bears need to eat as much as the rest of us do, at least as far as I'm aware. I mean, not a polar bear like expert or anything, but just like this, we do this, and then have the mouth going in there. It looks a little bit bizarre, but it's a polar bear mouth, and boom, we've got a happy polar bear. And just like that, again, you might not believe that some simple wireframes using some quartz will do this, but boom, we've actually got ourselves a polar bear head. So now we just have to kind of do the back of the polar bear, because even though we have this realistic front polar bear, once we do the sides of the head, because they're weirding me out, but yeah, now we have the realistic front of polar bear, excluding the ears actually, which we should do right now. So one other thing you're going to bear in mind is you're going to have just some simple ears poking out, go 2 blocks back, and do something like that. Do the same the other side, and boom, if you look at it from the front now, boom, that's a realistic polar bear face and stuff. Very stern, but very cute at the same time. And now we should have to kind of move back and do the back of the polar bear. So polar bears actually get fatter as they go backwards by 1 block all the way around, it seems. So what you're going to want to do is you want to go like an extra block around, like this, and kind of just circle around and make a 13 by 12 by 12 kind of cube. It's not an exact cube, but it's close enough. And we want to go like so. So yeah, this is our cube. And, it is actually a 13 by 13 by 13 cube, and then make it like so, and we want to do the exact same thing we did before. I'm going to wireframe it and fill it in later, because I'm sure me filling in blocks isn't the most, like enticing of gameplay, which means all you need to see for now is me counting the blocks to make sure it's things, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So yeah, now we just need to turn this into a wireframe, and then complete that, which we'll do now, and then get back to you. And just like so, we've now finished the sides of the polar bear. I mean, I didn't do the top or the bottom, so it's like weirdly hollow in a way. But yeah, you can kind of see just with the simple 13 by 13 cube, we now have the polar bear body, and it does look pretty natural from the front here. The polar bear gets slightly wider, then it gets slightly wider indeed, because, again, they need lots of fat to survive the winter or something. I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, you might notice that there's one slight flaw of this polar bear. It's complete in all ways but one, if you exclude the top and the bottom being unfilled. And that, astute noticely, by the way, is that it actually doesn't have 2 more legs, because polar bears in real life, again, this is a very little known nature fact, only actually do have 4 legs. Sorry, they don't just have 2 legs, they actually have 4 legs. As much as it would be cool to have a 2-legged polar bear, I think that would be a little bit cruel too. So what we need to do is we need to have 2 more legs. They're going to be 1 block further in than the other ones. So we're going to start here, and this will be like the back leg from there. And then, yeah, we're just going to turn this into the second leg, and then do the other leg from there. It should be some simple stuff. It really is just repeating those legs, but from the opposite angle. So go for the exact same thing, where it's 4 by 4 by 3, etc. And then have black, and then grey, and then black, and then grey. And then we can go across, we can do the exact same thing. So 1, 2, 3, and then we do the same. So black, grey, grey. Make sure it matches the front paws, because you don't want to have paws that don't match. In real life, paws match pretty well, and now we just have to complete the other 2 legs that go around it. And just like that, once we finish these things, we're going to have an entirely complete polar bear. So just like that, if you want to build yourself a polar bear in Minecraft, you really easily can. All it takes is, in creative, so far about 15 minutes, excluding finishing the top and bottom, and you'll, just after this, you'll have yourself an entirely finished polar bear. Do bear in mind that if you are doing this in survival, it's going to take significantly longer, because, when it comes to building stuff with this massive scale, it is quite tricky. But if you want to give it a try, I definitely recommend it. It's fun to go get the nether quartz anyway, because you probably need to do that for like XP reasons, and then once you've got all the nether quartz, you can use it to make a polar bear. And I think this is probably the best use of nether quartz there is going to be for a while. So if you're looking for one, this is that. So yeah, with that said, after you might question after I finish this last leg and say the polar bear is done, which technically hasn't been done yet, so let's save the victory speech for the last few blocks. Oh, the victory's coming, the victory's coming. There we go. So, just like that, we now have an entirely finished polar bear, minus the top and bottom, which you can now look at, and you can say, yeah, that's a polar bear. And I really like the look of this thing, because, it's such a simple build. It literally uses 3 blocks in Minecraft, and although you can go for more contouring to make it look like that, and you can make it look more realistic than the Minecraft polar bears, this is just a perfect 1:16 scale recreation, and I think that if you're excited for 1.10 and you want to play around with the polar bear, this is something that you can entirely do. So yeah, with that said, you can even make it look like, oh, I had polar bears before we even knew they were coming. But yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next thing you can do with this, which is turn it into a house. So turning animals into houses is something that, I don't know, I'm like really passionate about. I made an ocelot house once, I made a panda house, and now I'm going to show you how to make a polar bear house. So it is a little bit trickier than most houses because you do need to have your points of contact with the floor, but the 2 things I'm going to recommend are going to be either 1, having like one of the legs have a secret little back entrance, so just like this, we can now have an iron door go in its place. So if we just find one of those, put an iron door in its place, get yourself a lever so you can actually open it, and just like that, boom, we've got ourselves a secret little entrance in the back of the thing, which can be activated with the lever up there, and now, just like that, we're inside the polar bear leg. Then all we need is some ladders, which we can replace the thing with, some ladders, and then you're inside the polar bear, and then all of this can be your house. So of course, you're going to want to have some floor in your house, which you can totally do, but then you can actually cover it in carpet, and you've got yourself a massive area to play around with. You can section it off into 2 separate areas, so this could be like, you know, the separator between your chest room and your other rooms, or you can do any other range of things, because you can have walls, dividers, all that sort of thing, and this can be the internals of your house. So if you want to make a, a polar bear be your house, all it takes is putting, a thing inside the foot, and then you can actually make it, so you've got yourself a secret house. If you are going to do this, I'd recommend 1, putting some glass in the roof so you have some light, 2, making the head your sleeping room, and maybe even making it so like there's some secret little white stained glass here, because white stained glass is going to be a little bit obvious from the front, so we replace some like this. It'll be a little bit obvious from the front. What it does mean is that you can actually kind of have a secret little area where you can look at, or in fact just like this actually, if you just place a couple blocks like that, then you can look out and you can see, ooh, that's kind of stuff like that. Or you could even do one like that, like next to this, where no one's going to expect it. It kind of looks normal enough, right? Like the pupils on the eyes. I don't know. There's a bunch of options for seeing out the front, and just in general, I think the polar bear house is a great one. I'd love to see any of you, if you have done it, please do post one in the comments or tweet it at me at Twitter. And yeah, this was the polar bear build or the polar bear house build. I recommend building the thing by itself, but if you want to build a house outfit, I think it's a great idea too. I hope you did all enjoy today's video though. If you did like it, like the video and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot, and let's know you do like polar bears and polar bear themed builds. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. Let me know if you want to see more mob builds or other stuff like this, because it's so simple when you get down to it. This was literally just 6 geometry shapes, I think, put together, and just like that, we've got ourselves a polar bear. And yeah, besides that, I guess I'll see you all in the next video. Bye everyone!